The most successful people in the world master principles and foundations before getting to fancy tactics. You see this in entrepreneurship, in professional athletes. Professional athletes, like basketball players, will go and shoot 100 free throws before anything else warming up for their game. And the best coaches in the world really drill this into their students and athletes. Now, in this video, I'm gonna save you years of your life by sharing some principles that I've learned throughout my life. And some of these I've had to learn again and again and again until I truly learn them. So getting right into it, the first principle that will absolutely change your life is self-reliance. Now, Ralph Waldo Emerson has a great book on this called Self-Reliance, and it's really the principle that no one in this world is coming to save you. It's all up to yourself. And if you don't take that accountability and ownership into your own hands, you're deferring your responsibility to everyone else. So this goes for everything, and you see a lot of people in this world, they have the whole victim mentality, which it might feel good, but it never gets you results or gets you very far. So your results in business and life, good or bad, your health, your relationships, it's so much more powerful to, really be self-reliant and not give everyone else your power. So that's number one. Number two is psychology and to understand human nature. Now there's one core truth in human nature, and I heard this a couple of years ago, and ever since I heard it, it's really stood out. And what it is that humans will consistently look out for themselves and do what is in their best favor and their own self-interest. Despite how charismatic or altruistic someone may appear to be, the core psychology, which is so helpful to understand psychology, people look out for themselves. So in business and relationships, you have to realize people are acting out of their own self-interest, even if it appears otherwise. And if you have a really true vision, or you actually understand the reality of humans, you're going to have much more success in business and life and relationships if you know some key psychological principles. Number three is discernment, right? There's so much in life thrown onto you and so many opportunities, so many different things you can go and do. But if you don't have the ability to discern, you're never going to find the success you want. And this comes with having a vision, right? If you don't have a vision for your life, what you want your business to look like, what you want your health to look like, your relationships, you don't really have a North Star to go towards. And there's an old saying about a ship that doesn't know which port to sail, no wind is favorable. So if you don't know where you're going in life, you don't really have the power to discern what is good for you or what isn't. Now, number four is when things are going well, double down. You see this especially in business. When people get their first few big wins, they go and, buy a bunch of stuff and they distract themselves instead of doubling down. And in life, when you get really lucky and a lot of opportunity comes to you, it's often just for a season. And if you don't take advantage of that and understand hey, right now I'm having really good luck, things are going well, instead of taking my foot off the gas, I'm gonna double down to become a lot more successful, you're gonna realize that it's a superpower, is when you're in flow state, when things are going well, focus and double down, because if you let up on the gas, a month might go by and you might be in a season where things are much harder. So when things are going well, double down. Number five, people say discover your values, but it's really much more about choosing them. And everyone is different. You can't try and imitate other people because they have different values. For some, relationships are really important. For some, being insanely successful is important. For some, it's health. They value health over everything. So you have to understand and really look into yourself and see, all right, what do I value? What is important to me? And then choose your values and stick to them. And don't, when a decision comes, stick to your values and have good values. It's critical in this world, especially when, I won't get it too much into the whole culture thing, but there's so many different outside external pressures that will get you to be a certain way and live this certain cookie cutter box life that is so miserable. You see this, so many people, they follow the safe route, they go to college, they get a job, they do the things, and then they realize when they're 40 and 50 that they've wasted their entire life and they're miserable. So choose your values. Number 6, ruthlessly eliminate distractions. There's so many distractions in this world: social media, television, friends that aren't up to your standard. You name them. There's so many distractions. And that's really what will take away most of your success in life, is when you allow these distractions into your life. And it's one thing to, experience a distraction. It's another thing to choose to keep a bad habit or distraction in your life. Over time, if you keep these distractions in your life, 6 months will pass by and you'll look up and you'll be like, wow, I just spent the past 6 months, I haven't really improved in my health, relationships, business, any area, because I've allowed distractions into my life. So for me, one thing I've noticed is I'll wake up and sometimes check my phone, and it gives you such a big hit of dopamine and a distraction that it wires your brain for the rest of the day. Especially in those early morning hours, you have to protect your focus at all costs. Number 7 is absolute ownership. And there's a great book on this from Jocko Willink, and he has a really extreme example of this. And it's basically about the war in Iraq. And the worst thing in war that happens, or one of them, friendly fire. Someone shoots their own teammate. And when they're getting debriefed and the generals from the US fly over and they're in this really high pressure meeting, instead of blaming others, the commander came in and asked what happened, what went wrong? And everyone on the team was like, it's my fault. I didn't, check my corners. Or the radio guy was saying, it's my fault. I didn't, recognize this problem. And then, the other gunman or whatever said, no, it's my problem. I didn't watch this area. And then the commander or the captain of the unit came in and said, no, it's my fault. I didn't do X, Y, and Z. It's 100% my fault. And because of that, instead of firing everyone and getting rid of the whole team, the general saw the absolute ownership that everyone had and is like, wow, they're all going to be better as a result of this. And in life, let's say you're working with a team. Would you want to work in a team to where everyone's blaming each other, like most businesses or a lot of friend groups? Or would you want to be in a community and a group to where everyone has absolute ownership, right? If I was in a military unit, I would want to be in one to where everyone has absolute ownership. And it's even a selfish thing. It's not even selfless. You bring more power to yourself when you take ownership, because you're not giving others power over your life. So, number 8, take care of yourself first. And this comes into the whole fact, in order to be selfless, you need to be selfish, right? If you're not powerful and you're not doing good and you're not healthy and doing well, you can't really provide that much value to other people. But if you're really doing well, you're wealthy, you're healthy, and things are going well because you took care of yourself more, you have so much of an overflowing cup that you can pour into others. Number 9, protect your mind at all costs. And this goes to my point earlier on waking up in the morning. A lot of people will check their phone and they're completely in a relationship to social media, to whatever, to be programmed, instead of taking that ownership in their own hands and protecting their mind. There's so much stuff. You go on Twitter or social media, things that will make you angry or distract you, or seeing how successful other people are, and it will take you off of your own course. So really important to protect your mind. There's so much stuff, so much noise, so many things that once you allow them into your conscious mind, which a great analogy is your conscious mind is like the watchtower, right? And then once it passes your conscious mind, it goes into your subconscious, and then you don't have control over it anymore. And whatever goes into your subconscious mind at some level will bear fruits, whether they're good or bad. So you have to protect your mind at all costs, especially in this world. Number 10, mentors. Study the greats, ignore the flashy. And this is huge, right? There's so many mentors in the world. There's a lot of people on social media giving advice. It seems like everyone is nowadays. I mean, I'm just reading my principles right now, what I've learned, in hopes that it will help you or my younger self. And you have to realize a lot of these people that may have a big online following, they're getting their ideas from other people. And there's much greater wisdom in history, right? There's people like Marcus Aurelius, or old philosophers, or old businessmen, or people like Charlie Munger, or really anyone that has written all of their lessons in such a potent, powerful book. And you can go and learn from that. And when you go and you start studying history, you'll see that a lot of people are saying the same thing online in just a very different way in social media. So you're going to, I won't say social media is almost something to graduate out of in a way, because there's so much advice and distraction out there, but you don't know the true intent of the person or if it really serves you. To where if you go and you study a bunch of history and you understand all these lessons in business and health and life, you don't have to tune into all this noise. So that's number 10, is get mentors. If you can stand on the shoulders of giants and buy information and buy the lessons that you would have had to learn the hard ways, you're going to make it so much further in life. Number 11, be an individual, stand out. Especially in this world, there's so much conformity pushed. People are looking all around trying to imitate others instead of recognizing their own unique value and gifts and leaning into that. We don't need another person that imitates someone else, right? It's one thing to, learn from someone and take example and maybe, model some aspects that you like. But at the end of the day, you're a unique person. You have so much value that is unique within you. You have your own proclivities, things that are unique interests, unique powers. So don't try and play someone else's game. Lean into your own game. Number 12, set boundaries early and often. This comes in business. This comes in relationships, everything. A lot of times where a relationship or a client deal goes south is because you didn't set proper boundaries. And when someone crossed them, you didn't say, hey, this is my boundary. Please, honor it, respect it. This is an important boundary for me. And then you'll begin to resent someone because they cross that boundary again and again, but they don't know because you never set the proper boundary from the get-go for them to understand relationships. Even in client relationships, at first I was like, oh, I don't need contracts or anything. But now I just realize it's helpful to, not to necessarily hold someone to their word. That's part of it, but also to just have a clear understanding of what services you're going to provide, what they can expect. So, it's a whole thing of scope creep. If you promise someone a website and then they want this and that and the other, because you didn't have the clear boundaries, that's your fault for not setting the expectations. Number 13, in life as a man, you gain your value through competence, right? And it's critical to be extremely competent in multiple realms because that's the friend that someone else is going to want. Whereas women are much more born with their value, but as a man, you're not really valued as someone important unless you have status, you have extreme competence in different areas, and you can be of value to other men and people in your community. If you don't have competence and value, you're really not worth much, honestly, and it seems hard, but these are some of the harsh truths that people avoid. And I heard someone say recently, if there's a beautiful homeless woman, you're much more likely to help her. Other people are. To where if it's a man in his 50s and, he hasn't really done that much, he just developed some addiction and, now he's homeless, not many people are going to want to help him. Number 14, life is competition. Don't let others tell you otherwise. Life, especially as a man, is competition. Everything. The girl you want, the girl you have, other men want. The client you want, the business you want to start, other people want to start. The place you want to live in, other people want to live in. The house you want to buy, everything is competition. Now, within that, yes, absolutely, there's collaboration within a team. But even within teams, take it to professional sports. Obviously, you're collaborating within your team, but outside of that is its competition. And so many people are so up in the clouds that they don't realize the truth of human nature and the truth of just reality in terms of its competition, right? Most everything is competition. And if you don't think it is, you're going to get leveled by someone that is actually playing to win and views it as competition. Number 15, being a lone wolf in life will only get you so far. The best in the world have teams. And this is critical. If you want to make it really far in life and business, you need to form some sort of a team, especially in business, right? If you're trying to do everything, and I fell into this trap because I didn't want to give up responsibility in a way because I thought I could do everything the best. And you have to learn to let go of some of that control and defer the responsibility and allow others to become a good part of your team, right? So many people, especially in this world, it's so isolating, and people won't reach out and form a good team, to where you realize successful people, they have huge, vast teams of people that are extremely competent in multiple areas. And that's why they appear to almost have godlike abilities, because they can do an entire launch or something in 14 days that would have taken one person 6 months or a year, because they have 20 people working at one common goal. Number 16, wealth flows through relationships. Whether you're doing business to business or business to consumers, at the end of the day, all business is humans to humans, right? It's people doing business with other humans, working with each other. So if you want to be successful, you have to go out and meet people, work on new relationships, but also, like I said earlier, build competence, because you want to have something of value to offer. If you're just going out to network, but you don't have value to offer other people, no one's going to want to build a relationship with you or work with you. So build competence first, get really good in a few different things to where you can provide value, and then go out and have relationships, go out to events, go out and meet people, because you're going to sharpen yourself. You're going to learn so much, because you don't really know. One relationship can change the entire trajectory of your life. It can unlock opportunities and doors that you never thought were possible. So go out and make new relationships. Now, 17, perception matters, right? In business, I never wanted to build a following or start creating social media, but I realized someone that had 50,000 followers, despite not having the results that I do, at least in business, they were seen as more of an expert because their status is higher, because they have a following. So you realize that perception really matters. And yes, it's superficial, but it's just human nature, right? If many people perceive one person as valuable, other people are more likely to perceive that same person as valuable. And this goes in so many different areas, right? If you're a man and you have high status, and you have good friends and a good relationship, and you're wealthy, and other people want to be around you, you're going to be seen as more valuable. To where if you're isolated and you don't have that, you're not seen as valuable. So you really have to get good at understanding perception, and in a way, manufacturing how others perceive you. There's a lot of entrepreneurs that are really good at this in the online space, just really painting an image of themselves that hopefully it's true, right? Your brand, you want it to be in really close alignment with who you are. But also, you have to understand perception matters, so learn how to influence it. Bonus principles I have here is curate your environment. There's a great book called Atomic Habits, and it's really that you can only have so much influence over your environment. No matter how powerful you think you are, your environment has a huge influence over you. The people, the place you're living in, the country you're living in, everything really matters. So you have to curate your environment to be conducive to your success. The other bonus principle I have in here is you will repeat the same lesson again and again until you truly master it. It's almost like a key to an unlock to the next level. And until you actually integrate the lesson, you're gonna repeat that same lesson 100 times over until you realize, okay, this is true. Next time this comes up, I have to stick to my principle, which is why it's important to have principles and values in life, because next time that test or that challenge comes up, you have principles to deal with it to become more successful and come out on top of the challenge. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any principles that have been really advantageous to your life, I'd love to hear them. Drop them in the comments. I've recently filmed a video about all the productivity secrets I've learned from a mentor who sold his business for hundreds of millions of dollars. And there's some really good stuff in there. So check that video out. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I got a lot of new stuff coming out.